Surges. Yeah. When I work out heavy, like heavy weights, I got to go to the bathroom before I get in my car. I got to take a long piss.
Does the medication help you when you take a Xanax?
Not if you don't take it.
Right, but if you do
I got
take
shit
it.
to do in the daytime, dog. I got no time for a fucking Xanax. I don't know what kind of...
Well, what does it do? That's what I'm asking.
Well, I'll tell you what happens with Xanax that I know for a fucking fact that nobody can tell me. When I first got into comedy, Joey Diaz's Secrets of Comedy. You ready?
Okay.
When I got into comedy, all these jerk-offs, you got to bring 5 people to a fucking show. I'm not asking nobody to come to a show. I just wait for Joe Rogan to call me and ask me who wants weed. You want weed? Meet me at the comedy club. Well, I got to meet you at the comedy club. Don't worry about it. Just meet me there. Next thing you know, I got you paying 10 at the door. So I got into selling Xanax. There was a crazy guy in Boulder who had just gotten out of prison for murder, and his wife, I don't know, they were getting Xanaxes from a pharmacy. So I was getting Valiums, the V's. The one with the V's, you don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about
it. 10 milligrams. You could sell those for $2 a piece.
I don't deserve any of the stuff I've gotten. I don't deserve anything. And it's been like, and I've done everything in the world. I've traveled the world 4 times. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I'm in love with my wife, and I have the greatest career that I feel so lucky to have, and I have awesome fucking friends. Like, when I die, and I shouldn't have had any of it. There's people that don't have any of this shit. You know, I mean, I hope.
I would pop those Xanny bars, and I would be high. That would be good enough for me. So I was used to popping like 6 of them. I had my tolerance up there, fucking high.
And why did you like it?
Because I would drink with them. I would drink like 1 or 2 drinks. You feel tremendous. That's it, just 1 or 2.
Like, how do you feel?
Like, fucked up. Fucked up. 2 drinks and a couple Xanny bars, you get fucked up. This is before the Xanny bars.
You're not supposed to drink on them, right?
No. No. But I would get fucked up, and then I'd do comedy and eat 2
I'm gonna take a stance I wouldn't normally take for the past 50 years. Birth control is a fucking racket.
It's so much more than that.
And it's hormones in your body that could cause strokes, could cause blood clotting. It's unnatural, and in a weird way, society kind of signed up and said, "Oh yeah, the chicks will take care of that. You guys get cummed in, and you got to take care of the cum." It's like it's almost like a guy's. Why wouldn't they just make men's birth control?
Yeah, there's that. We've tried to do it, you know, and we're like, "Come on my face, come on my tits." And
was that? Oh my God. That's precious. That's women's attempt to get off birth controls, letting us come.
Just come in my eye.
Oh, I thought you guys liked it.
We're just trying to not be on birth control. Come on my tits. Come on my ass. Come on my armpit. Come on my
Oh my God, that is so.
Anything but my pussy.
That is the funniest fucking angle.
Then why aren't you laughing? This is what it's like to be a female comedian. He says it's the funniest thing I've ever heard, but no one's laughing!
Because here's the one thing about me, I don't lie.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's all these rumors about me, and I'm happy to...
Yeah, you're one of those people like, I'll admit if I farted.
But it's so much...
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it's like as soon as I get a facelift, dude, everyone's going to know.
Yeah.
It's going to be a paid partnership with Neosporin.
Yeah.
There's going to be a paid partnership with Staples.
You get your eyes done. You got to get something done. You come in looking different sometimes.
Yeah, I know, but it's actually like, I mean, I've never got my eyes done. I've gotten Botox here.
Botox,
I've got
what
Botox around my eyes, and I get a little filler on the side of my nose.
Yeah.
You know? And then sometimes I lose weight and gain weight, and then I look different.
Yeah.
I've never been in a helicopter. I've been in a Black Hawk one time, actually, and I was doing a show in Basra or something, and I got a blowjob on an unsecure airfield from a female, and in the middle of the night in a Black Hawk helicopter. Praise God, brother.
Well, there you go. So, yes, he's been in a helicopter.
So I have been in one, but only with a gun, you know, only when people had guns. Do you keep a weapon on yours or no?
On what?
In your... I don't know if you have a helicopter or if you rent a helicopter.
Do I really have to answer that? He knows goddamn well I don't have a weapon. Why are you doing this?
You don't? You wouldn't have a gun. I don't think it's obtuse, really, to think you might have a weapon in there with you? Think about it.
Yeah, think about it.
Okay, all right.
You think about it.
Well, like it's not enough, like it's not well, people just like guns. Why is this idea so irresistible to American people? Why isn't it like like you see sort of like Obama's speech after Sandy Hook or whatever, and you don't think, oh right, that's the day now where we don't have guns anymore. But it's just like, no, why is this force so powerful? What does it mean to their unconscious?
The level of quantum physics requires consciousness and belief in order for it to collapse between waves and particles. So what the challenge we have is to invest it with meaning while recognizing its meaningless, or as Christ says, in the world but not of it. And I can see how, my personal opinion, I can't.
This is a business.
Right.
This is a business, and I got mouths to feed. But when I'm at the Comedy Store, when I'm at the Improv, when I'm at the Laugh Factory, when I'm at Flappers, when I'm at the Ha Ha, when I'm at New York Gotham,
you gotta let it fly.
I'm gonna let it fly.
You gotta let it fly.
Okay, and I'm sorry.
No.
Just so you know.
You
No.
shouldn't be sorry.
All right, let's cut the fucking shit. Okay, we do this for profit. At the end of the fucking day, we're feeding our families. We're supposed to be the social column of society in a way.
In some ways.
So now you want to take that away from me? You want to take the way I can't say, I grew up on the word retarded. I grew up on the word faggot. I grew up on a lot of words that people don't accept today. And I'm very sorry that you don't accept them. But it's too late for me to change my game right now. Yeah, I'll try my hardest. I try my hardest. I'm still going to say tranny from time to time. I know it offends. I'm here to tell you how I see it. You want to hear how I see it? This is how I see it. If I offend you, I offend you. But in my reality, it was real. You want firecrackers? You buy them from a Chinese dude down in China.
Why is that racist?
Because that's racist. In
But isn't it
today's
factual?
society,
How's it
not
racist if
today.
it's factual?
Chinese people out of fireworks.
Right.
They moved
but
on to
there's
other things.
There's weird ones that we all let fly. Like black dudes with big dicks. No one's complaining about that, right? You ever hear that? You assume black dude has a big dick. Does anybody complains? Probably they're looking to now. That might be like, maybe I'm the first one to get called out on it. That's racist to think that black dudes have big dicks. Is it? If it's positive? Is like a positive attribute racist? Like if you said Asian people are better at math, people would say that's racist. How is it racist if they're really good at something? Like if they have more talent or skill or more accomplishments, how's that racist? Like isn't that racial if it's good?
Take some vermouth, extra dry vermouth, you swirl it around the glass, you throw it out, in and out. In and out. The martini go right out there. Then you take the gin, you stir the fucking gin. You don't shake it like you're a 24-year-old fucking bartender in West Hollywood who's fucking shaking the gin and trying to see how many cocks she can fit in her so she can pay her rent. That ain't it. Okay? You're not shaking a fucking thing and bruising the goddamn gin, waiting for your fucking seeking arrangements date to pick you up and take you to his fucking house. You stir it. Shaking it bruises it. It's a line from James Bond. It's absolutely true. And let me tell you right now, I threw my life away for this drink. I mean, I threw my life away for this drink. And it was because of this cocktail. I have not had a meaningful relationship in my life because of this cocktail. I have very few friends. And the ones I have that I've had for a very long time, I strongly dislike. I should have came out of the closet earlier. I should have did the right thing. I should have went to college. I didn't do any of that. I was in subprime mortgages.
I saved up about $80K. She wants to live. We're having a baby. She wants to live on the island. You got
Mr. Pop, I'm very glad.
Can I get a loan?
Not only can you get a loan, but let me tell you something.
Yeah.
How much of that $80K are you prepared to spend on the property?
I don't know, Mr. Dillon. I'm a pretty conservative guy. I saved every single dollar from my more recent shows.
How much are you prepared to spend?
Hold on, let me go into Maurice's brain.
No. Of that 80,000, how much would you like to spend? Are you willing to spend all of it?
I'm willing to spend about 60 or 70 of it.
Mr. Pappas, guess how much of that 80 you're gonna have to spend?
How much?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. You're not gonna spend anything because let me explain something to you. The bricks and sticks of your house, appreciate. The frame, the land, they appreciate in value. You know what your money does in your house for you, Mr. Pappas? It does absolutely nothing. You know what the wealthiest people do with real estate, Mr. Pappas? A lot of them finance it. Why? Because your mortgage is your only tax write-off. It is the only write-off. It is your only fucking weapon against the federal government. The larger the loan you take, the better it is for you financially. And you take that $80,000 and you put it in tax-exempt securities like Roth IRAs. Mr. Pappas, you maximize the amount of tax-exempt retirement accounts that you put your money in with that $80,000. You make it work for you. You do not sink it into a house. Yes or yes? So the reality is this. We're taking the biggest loan possible. The other benefit, Mr. Pappas, is you don't pay for 2 months.
Right.
For 2 months, you don't pay. And I will tell you this right now. All you have to worry about right now is all you have to worry about, Mr. Pappas, is what are you going to do with those 2 free months? Because we're rolling it into the mortgage. You've got 60 days. I would take a little vacation. 2 free months.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
You're saying free. Am I going to have to pay at some point for this down the line?
We're rolling it into the mortgage, which again, we talked about, it just increases your tax deduction. If you could, Mr. Pappas, you'd take a loan every day. Every day you would take a loan because the federal government is coming to take your hard-earned money. I am telling you, your ability to fight them is contingent on how big this mortgage is. Take all your credit card debt, all your car loans, everything, student loans, roll it into this, refinance it. Let's do it. Let's make it big. And let's do it once and do it right. I said, Kelly, we got one. And Kelly, I said, Mr. Pappas and his wife Brittany's from Long Island. They want to go buy a piece of marble hunk of shit. And Kelly has got Coke running down her nose from last night. She's got a fucking double tall non-fat latte from Starbucks non-fat. She's not kidding anyone. And she nails it down and she says, she makes all the paperwork look like it should look. And then my little shitty bank, which was called Franklin First or New World Mortgage or the Mortgage Zone or the Funding Hut or whatever it is, we send our paper to a fucking even bigger and as similarly shitty bank like a Long Beach Mortgage or a New Century Mortgage or an Argent. And those banks were doing backdoor deals with JP Morgan, Citigroup. So those banks were underwriting the paper to the middle grade banks that were lending money to the dirtbag brokerage operating out of a van places that I worked.
I sold a house to myself. You're not supposed to get so drunk you scam yourself. I scammed myself. Like when I say I completely destroyed my life, I mean, I'm sure, there's elements of it that are fun. But, I should have just vlogged. That's what I should have done. I should have vlogged.
You ever looked up how much Judge Judy's worth?
Tell me what you want to know. I think sometimes you can make generalities, right? And that you can get away with a lot.
Well, I think let's talk about specifics. That in itself was a generality.
Let's look at this one. You say here, let's kill General Motors. Let's take it back from its shareholders, scribble out the name and the logo, and let's use its resources for something more valuable.
Now, Evan, I hope you're not going to use this opportunity for you to be rude to me.
I'm not being rude. I want
an autodidact, a self-educated man, for simply trying to suggest that there might be an alternative to corporate hegemony. That there might be an alternative to our government's bending over for the benefit of big corporations.
I want to raise this
that's what ordinary people care about, mate. It's affecting ordinary people's lives. I don't know if it's affecting the places you hang out and where you drink.
But is it true you don't even vote?
Yeah, no, I don't vote.
Well, how do you have any authority to talk about politics then?
Well, I don't get my authority from this pre-existing paradigm, which is quite narrow and only serves a few people. I look elsewhere for alternatives that might be of service to humanity. Alternate means alternate political systems,
They being?
Well, I've not invented it yet, Jeremy. I had to do a magazine last week. I've had a lot on my plate. But here's the thing that it shouldn't do. Shouldn't destroy the planet, shouldn't create massive economic disparity, shouldn't ignore the needs of the people. The burden of proof is on the people with the power.
It's very easy to spot things that are wrong with society at the moment, right?
Absolutely. Evan, are you seriously telling me that the corporate world, companies like Monsanto and Pfizer, are operating on behalf of us, ordinary people? Is that your argument? That corporations like Vodafone, Amazon,
sometimes
Google,
yes,
who don't pay their tax in this
sometimes
country,
yes,
who are aided and assisted by our government, while people fill the squares arrested for possessing tarpaulin so they can peacefully protest? You want to say that corporates are getting a rough ride?
I don't say they're getting a rough ride.
Look,
If you can't be asked to vote, why should we be asked to listen to your political point of view?
You don't have to listen to my political point of view, but it's not that I'm not voting out of apathy. I'm not voting out of absolute indifference and weariness and exhaustion from the lies, treachery, deceit of the political class that has been going on for generations now, and which has now reached fever pitch, where we have a disenfranchised, disillusioned, despondent underclass that are not being represented by that political system. So voting for it is tacit complicity with that system, and that's not something I'm offering up.
Well, why don't you change it then?
I'm trying to.
Well, why don't you start by voting?
I don't think it works. People have voted already, and that's what's created the current paradigm.
When did you last vote?
Never.
You've never ever voted?
No, do you think that's really bad?
So you struck an attitude, what, before the age of 18?
Well, I was busy being a drug addict at that point because I come from the kind of social conditions that are exacerbated by an indifferent system that really just administrates for large corporations and ignores the population that it was voted in to serve.
You're blaming the political class for the fact you had a drug problem?
No. I'm saying I was part of a social and economic class that is underserved by the current political system, and drug addiction is one of the problems it creates when you have huge, underserved, impoverished populations. People get drug problems and also don't feel like they want to engage with the current political system because they see that it doesn't work for them. They see that it makes no difference. They see that they're not served.
Well, I say that it doesn't work for them if they don't bother to vote.
Jeremy, my darling, I'm not saying that the apathy doesn't come from us, the people. The apathy comes from the politicians. They are apathetic to our needs. They're only interested in servicing the needs of corporations. Look at what ain't the Tories going to court and to taking the EU to court because they're trying to curtail bank bonuses. Is that what's happening at the moment in our country? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, there is.
So why am I going to tune in for that?
You don't believe in democracy. You want a revolution, don't you?
The planet is being destroyed. We are creating an underclass. We are exploiting poor people all over the world, and the genuine, legitimate problems of the people are not being addressed by our political class.
All of those things may be true.
They are true.
But you took... I wouldn't argue with you about many of them.
Well, how come I feel so cross with you? It can't just be because of that beard. It's gorgeous.
You are a very trivial man.
What do you think? I am trivial?
Yes.
A minute ago, you were having a go at me because I want a revolution. Now I'm trivial. I'm bouncing about.
I'm not having...
Well, facetiousness has as much value as seriousness. I think you're making the mistake of mistaking seriousness.
We're not going to solve world problems by facetiousness.
We're not going to solve them with the current system. At least facetiousness is funny.
I'm just asking you why we should take you seriously when you're so unspecific.
You don't have to take... Well, firstly, I don't mind if you take me seriously. I'm saying there are people with alternative ideas that are far better qualified than I am, and far better qualified, more importantly, than the people that are currently doing that job. Because they're not attempting to solve these problems. They're not. They're attempting to placate the population. The measures that are currently being taken around climate change are indifferent, will not solve the problem.
You don't think it's possible as human beings they're simply overwhelmed by the scale of the problem?
Not really. Well, possibly. It might be that. I mean, but that's sort of just semantics, really. Whether they're overwhelmed by it or tacitly maintaining it because of habitual... I mean, like, mate, this is what I noticed when I was in that Houses of Parliament. It's decorated exactly the same as Eton. It's decorated exactly the same as Oxford. So a certain type of people goes in there and thinks, oh, this makes me nervous. And another type of people go in there and go, this is how it should be.
You've got a proper job. I want to ask you...
No, why don't you answer some questions?
I want to ask what you propose the people who own General Motors should do when you have taken...
I don't want to follow you down blind alleys about silly administrative quibbles. Let me be absolutely clear.
Let's
I don't trust politicians. No one does. I don't trust the corporations in this country.
They go at you because you want a revolution. Many people want a revolution, but I'm asking you what it will be like.
Well, I think what it won't be like is a huge disparity between rich and poor, where 300 Americans have the same amount of wealth as the 85 million poorest Americans, where there is an exploited and underserved underclass that are being continually ignored, where welfare is slashed, while Cameron and Osborne go to court to defend the rights of bankers to continue receiving their bonuses. That's all I'm saying.
What's the scheme? That's all I'm asking. What's the scheme? You talk vaguely about revolution. What is it?
I think a socialist egalitarian system based on the massive redistribution of wealth, heavy taxation of corporations, and massive responsibility for energy companies and any company that's exploiting the environment. I think they should be I think the very concept of profit should be hugely reduced. David Cameron says profit isn't a dirty word. I say profit is a filthy word, because wherever there is profit, there is also deficit. And this system currently doesn't address these ideas. And so why would anyone vote for it? Why would anyone be interested in it?
Who would levy these taxes?
I think we do need to, there needs to be a centralised administrative system, but built on...
Yes, there needs to be a government.
Well, we might maybe call it something else. Call them like the admin bods, so they don't get
And how would they be chosen?
Jeremy, don't ask me to sit here. Look, I don't want to. I'm not going to sit here with you. I know you know that capitalism isn't working. I think it's got a lot of flaws. That a system that requires quantitative easing to hold it together, while energy companies are subsidised by our taxes, while renewable energies are ignored. I know you can't support that system, Evan. But what I'm saying is that within the existing paradigm, the change is not dramatic enough, not radical enough, so you can well understand public disturbances and public dissatisfaction when there are not genuine changes and genuine alternatives being offered. I say when there is a genuine alternative, a genuine option, then vote for that. But until then, don't bother. Why pretend? Why be complicit in this ridiculous illusion?
Because by the time somebody comes along you might think it worth voting for, it may be too late.
I don't think so, because the time is now. These movements are already occurring. It's happening everywhere. We're in a time where communication is instantaneous, and there are communities all over the world. The Occupy movement made a difference, even if only in that it introduced to the popular public lexicon the idea of the 1% versus the 99%. People for the first time in a generation are aware of massive corporate and economic exploitation. These things are not nonsense, and these subjects are not being addressed. No one's doing anything about tax havens. No one's doing anything about their political affiliations and financial affiliations of the Conservative Party. So until people start addressing things that are actually real, why wouldn't I be facetious? Why would I take it seriously? Why would I encourage a constituency of young people that are absolutely indifferent to vote? Why would we? Aren't you bored? Aren't you more bored than anyone? Ain't you been talking to them year after year, listening to their lies, their nonsense? Then it's this one gets in, then it's that one gets in, but the problem continues. Why are we going to continue to contribute to this facade?
I'm surprised you can be facetious when you're that angry about it.
Yeah, I am angry. I am angry. Because for me it's real. Because for me, it's not just some peripheral thing that I turn up once in a while to a church fete for. For me, this is what I come from. This is what I care about.
I think the
Here's my point, is the systems we have at the moment aren't going to change within themselves, because those systems are working for precisely the function they're intended to. They work for, they enhance the power and profits of elites, they support the rights of corporations. At a time where the TTIP agreement's being pushed through in Europe, I think we have to be more aware than ever of the disempowerment of ordinary British people. We have to support localised, creative direct...
We can no longer have erroneous, duplicitous systems held in place unless it's for the only systems that serve the planet and serve the population of the planet can be allowed to survive. Not ones that serve elites, be they a political or corporate elites. And this is what's currently happening.
You don't really believe that.
I completely believe it. Don't look at me all weary, like you're at a fireside.
Do you see any hope?
Remember that? Yeah, totally. There's going to be a revolution. It's totally going to happen. I think not only I ain't got a flicker of doubt. This is the end. This is time to wake up. So if we can engage that feeling, instead of some moment of lachrymose sentimentality trotted out on the TV for people to pore over emotional porn, if we can engage that feeling and change things, why wouldn't we? Why is that naive? Why is that not my right because I'm an actor? I mean, I've taken the right. I don't need the right from you. I don't need the right from anybody. I'm taking it.
So I'm perfectly aware of my limitations, and
you contemplate your limitations.
Yeah, and they're forever before me. You know, they're not hard to find in an average day. And then on top of that, I suppose it's Partly it's because I have a sort of belief in the old gods, and at the moment that I thought that I was at the moment of triumph, the fates would hitch up their skirts and run at me at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
This could be the best thing that I'll ever know.
What is the hopeful? If you 10 years from now look back at the United States and say we turned it around, what would be the reason? What would be the ways, the mechanisms that we do so?
If America screws up, everything else in the world goes.
Yeah, there is the degree to which America is still the beacon of these ideas.
With the desire to improve.
Yeah, constant.
An imperfect union. The main job is not to go insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And like walk towards sanity.
I lost my dad when I was 8. I was molested growing up.
Molested?
Yeah.
Listen to what he says after she talks about being molested and scared of men.
I wonder what would happen if you kids had to go through something really traumatic, like what they're going through in Ukraine now. Do you think it would change your whole mindset about this? And it would help you in some way if there was actually something real to worry about?
There's two things going on here. She's talking about how much social media has made her feel miserable. So he goes, social media has made your career. And then he starts leaning in. Look how close he's getting.
Honest, right?
Oh my God, he's literally going like this. And it was great seeing you. And if I do it slow enough, I'll eventually be there without lunging. Yes? Oh my God, I wonder how long my arms can go. Yeah.
He just did a 5-finger stroke. Did you see that?
No.
Quick, just go back 5 seconds.
He did one of these?
Just watch the top of her hand, what he's doing.
Okay, top of her hand, a 5-finger stroke coming up.
Okay,
I don't know if I know what a 5-finger stroke is.
The other ones, like in sort
See?
of... Ah, yes, a little 5-finger stroke, of course. Wow, you can't do a 5-finger stroke.
I know what's going on in the world. I should have the anxiety. I follow it. You kids don't follow it. You don't know what the fuck's going on in the world. What are you upset about? What is the world problem? Talk slower.
Sorry.
Talk slower. I know.
I usually meet a lot of baby.
Oh.
Double grab.
Look at this. If you're going skydiving, I wouldn't recommend you hold on to someone this hard. Okay, so she's like, dude.
She's about to cry.
She's about to cry. Read the room, bro. Move on to the next chick. But will Bill do that? Absolutely not. Watch this.
You know, and they might have like PTSD nightmares and traumas and other things that haunt their dreams.
All,
like, you know,
yes, molestation is a serious trauma.
And death.
But
get over here. And then he kissed me. Da 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 da. Two different
It's
songs.
supposed to be a fist bump, Bill.
She went to fist bump him, and he grabbed her hand with the force of 10 kisses. Watch this happen as he slides right on in.
Did it the old-fashioned way.
Fuck yeah.
But
Fuck yeah.
Ooh. Old men do that with the fist bump every time. They still don't know. He uses the first, it's a fist bump. Then it's a clench. And then he uses that opportunity to explore. Wow. It's starting, folks. The touching.
It's quite a... Oh, right, you're engaged now?
Oh, yes.
Which
yes,
one is the...
this one.
Oh.
Oh.
Right.
Yes, I love.
It's almost like brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Jesus, Chris Rock better not.
All right, are you blind, Bill? Are you filing out the braille so you could go take a leak? I don't think so. What are you doing, Bill? This is touching. Does Joe Rogan know you do this much touching?
That's an engagement ring?
Yeah.
Got any rings downtown?
That's like
And look at her.
And where are the Frankenstein boots?
Oh, no.